Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, last couple of weeks we are studying 37 factors of enlightenment. In this part, we studied about half of the things we learned for foundation of establishment of mindfulness, for strivings, energies, then for Vidhipada, the psychic powers we studied. And now we're going to learn the 5 powers. Then later, these 5 powers will transform to Indriya, and then 7 Bojjhanga and 8-fold path. 3 weeks more. Study. See. Dhamma is always leading toward one direction. And that direction is going toward Nibbana. So, when we talk about 37 factors of enlightenment, what they do, they push us toward understanding the Dhamma up to realization. Because as we are studying, as we are learning Dhamma, as we are practicing Dhamma, we do see that, we do understand that this is the 8-fold path, what Buddha explained to escape from suffering. And the right view, Samma Sankalpa, determination. And this, so we do understand that what is the right view is, but we do not have the realization of it, the awareness of it. And because of that, we are still in progress to go up to them. These 37 factors of enlightenment, what they do, they bring us up to that stage. So, as soon as we understand, as soon as we see this Samma Ditthi, we do realize that, understands that, we open our eyes up. And for that realization, this path has to go up to there, where we can realize that. As we learn what the Satipatthana explains, 4 foundation of mindfulness. Earlier time, even in the 8-fold path, there is called Samma Samadhi. Samma Sati. Samma Sati is also included with the right of for establishment of mindfulness. And what is the difference between that and this? So we studied that one, it's called the stable one. It's the constant one. Here what we are learning is progressive one. So slowly by other the 37 factors of other factors, when they included in the 4 establishment of mindfulness, this mindfulness become more and more stronger. As it grows stronger, we understand that how the psychic power can help to develop this 4 foundation of mindfulness. And with the other Dhamma, means like not only just the meditation, but Buddha's teaching, his words, awareness of Dhamma, association of Sangha, what they do to us, how they play the key role, you can learn that in 5 powers. Up to now, what you had, establishment of mindfulness was, this is a concentration one. Then right efforts what you take. So those efforts is to cope your mind or to help your mind to develop this mindfulness without any interruption of thoughts or anything else in the world. Then we learn about psychic powers. It's about keep ourselves on the track. But now, in the five powers, what we're going to learn today, it has a different role. What it does, it includes other factors of Dhamma too. It does not just this one is not only to sit down or do meditation or just focus on meditation, but it is to give the chance to bloom the other qualities what Dhamma has given to us. So it will be the balance in the holy life that we're going to learn. So what is this five powers are? Supreme Buddha says, Panchamani bhikkhave balani, because these are five powers. Katamani pancha. What five? Saddha balam. Saddha balam means the power of faith, confidence. Virya balam. Virya means energy or effort. Sati balam, power of mindfulness. Samadhi balam, power of concentration. And Panya balam, power of wisdom. So, imani ko bhikkhave pancha balaniti, because these are the five powers. Power of faith, power of energy, power of mindfulness, power of concentration, and power of wisdom. So, Supreme Buddha says in the Varadi Sutta, Ganga Peyal Walker says, Seyathapi bhikkhave Ganga nadi Pajina ninna, Pajina bona, Pajina papara. As the Ganga river flows in the one direction, gradually it goes toward ocean. So it goes gradually, it does not go immediately in that way, or it is flows is constant, slope, and everything is properly in that. It does not go up, down. It just goes in downward in one direction wise. Same way, Supreme Buddha explained that this five bal, eva meva ko bhikkhave bhikkhu, in the same way as the Ganga river flows, if any monk or any monk practice pancha balani bhaventu, who practice these five powers, pancha balani bahuli karantu, who takes more and more effort to complete it, nibbana ninnu hoti, it will go toward nibbana, nibbana pono, it will complete the path of nibbana, nibbana papparo, it will end in the nibbana. And those are the five powers. What? Saddha balam, virya balam, sati balam, samadhi balam, panya balam. Then, katancha bhikkave bhikkhu pancha balani bhavento, pancha balani bahukarunto, nibbana ninno hoti, nibbana pono, nibbana papparo. And how any bhikkhu is practicing these five powers with a strong effort or in the majority of time. Either bhikkave bhikkhu saddha balam bhaveti. Here, a bhikkhu is practice saddha balam, means practice the power of faith. Viveka nissitam, viraga nissitam, nirodha nissitam, vosakka parinama. In English, it says that based upon seclusion, dispassion, and cessation, muttering in release. It explains the person who isolates himself from the worldly things in that time, his faith is traveling toward viraga. It means not to get attached with the worldly things, not to bound with it, but to releasing, to cut off all the ties in this world. So, cutting off those ties in this world, this person practice the faith. So, how this Saddha Bal works in that way? Saddha Bal, the power of faith, is very strong, in all the major religions, or every religion has that part. So, the power of faith, okay? This power of faith, what we learn, then what is the difference in between Buddhist or in Buddhism, the confidence or the faith, and what is the difference in between all the people have that. They do not have this thing. Which one? This, that to viveka nisita, to isolation, seclusion, viraga nisita, toward for the liberation, for the giving up of this world, nirodha nisita, which is traveling toward enlightenment, that is not there. Faith, what the Buddha asks, is to self-realized and Buddha explained when he says the bala, when he says the confidence of Buddha. As we understand that when someone becomes stream enterer, he attains the unshakable confidence on Buddha, unshakable confidence on Dhamma, unshakable confidence on Sangha. So that we can see. And what it is given to us, what it does. This power, when once someone come to that state when there is unshakable confidence on Buddha, there is unshakable confidence on Dhamma and Sangha, that time this person automatically realizes that there is not me, myself. Chikicha. There is no asking questions from here and there. There is no dachapukucha. There is no restlessness. There is no silabata paramas. Sakkaya Ditthi, Vichikicha, and silabata paramas. These three things has automatically abandoned, automatically is finished from the point when someone come to the unshakable confidence. So what this unshakable confidence does exactly? It does isolate ourselves from these worldly things. That's why Buddha explains in the 37 factors. That is the Panchabala, 5 powers, strength. This strength is one who can help us to move forward. Like simple thing. When the first time, or when the Super Buddha lepers, when he becomes Sotapanna, got Sakka king, and he asked him, I will give the money. Just you have to say the simple word that Buddha is teaching is not true. But once he has come to that power, the worldly thing does not bother him. He was hungry, he was sick, he does not have home or anything. And this person was offering the huge amount. And he can get cured. Even though those are all the things that's behind. Only one thing appears. And what? That the truth, what he has realized in that moment. That strength person needs to follow. This Saddha, the entire path. In the Alavaka Sutta, it says, Saddhaya Tarati Ogham. If you know the Alavaka Sutta, the Yaka asked from the Supreme that how someone can cross the river of this sansara. And the Buddha answered him, the Saddhaya Tarati Ogham. That this confidence, this faith has this much power that can take us beyond this sansara. So this Saddha is like a boat. Once someone come into that, they are floating toward enlightenment, escaping from this boat. So that much power we should need. Supreme Buddha always says about, in the 10 talks, there is a one thing to give it up everything. Means do not attach yourself. To talk of detachment, we call. Even for the monks had the ideas. So I want to see the Buddha. I want to do the association. They want there was a monk who always wanted to see the Buddha. He was very delighted every time when he goes. So his confidence was that. But when he come to that state when he's unable to look at or unable to go to see the Buddha. Buddha simply says, look at Dhamma. Looking at Dhamma, you will look at me. In that way, what the Buddha explaining in that moment? He is explaining that if someone come to that understanding, someone see the Dhamma, he realized what the Buddha, who is the Buddha is. Buddha is not just a body. Buddha is not just the facial features, He's everything. He is the living thing of Dhamma. So looking at that, person realize that's why the Saddha matters in the Dhamma. That's why we have to, we always want to develop that. We have to move to attain that. Because once it becomes power, nothing can stop us from the realization of Dhamma. So our Saddha is now the shaky one, Every time to time, we change. We see the, what it called, easiness in our life to see that Saddha. But the Saddha, what becomes the power, that's it. Even we also, even me also, I am unable to have that confidence yet. But the Dhamma, what it explains. So why I always ask from us that how you feel, that is your confidence or is your Dhamma practice growing or not? That is the reason, because Buddha says the growth should be there when you practice Dhamma. Growth should be there. That growth is how you can measure. You can measure that how much power for Dhamma you attain, you have. The power of faith is become from there. Every time when you take the effort, every time you think of Dhamma, at that time you work on it. How I can see the Buddha in this world. That is called the power of faith. Then it overcomes, automatically you come to that understanding that that is the truth. What the Buddha explains. Once that happens, so once that confidence comes there, then there is second thing the Bala called Virya Bala. Virya means energy, strong effort what we take, energy that to finish everything, immediately. So the Buddha explains. It is something like this. If any person put the fire on the head, what will happen? He will immediately try to get rid of that fire. And why is that? Because he loves himself a lot. So when he will do that? When he is aware there is a fire in my hand, a fire on my hand, and then he will do. So it doesn't need another time for that. It will be very faster, very faster one. With the confidence, that realization comes that I am burning in this world. So the energy arises from there. Let me finish it. Let me get rid of it. See, that is the reason. That is the reason in the Buddha's time, these monks were striving very hard. So much effort they took because they seek Dhamma. Appamadavaka, what it explains. Maranasati, what it explains. Ashubha, what it explains. This explains that the energy is there we need to understand and realize. There's a beautiful story. One of the monk, he was dwelling in the forest. At that time, there was a couple of thieves. They were planning to rob the village. So they were planning, and this monk was meditating there. So one of the men, when he went to the bushes, he saw that monk was sitting close by, and then he thought that this monk has heard everything. If we lose him, if we let him go, what will happen? He will go in the city, he will go in the village, and he will tell them. And our whole planning of months will be finished. So it will be better to tie him up, or they wanted to kill him, but then later finish that no one is going to follow after months. So they tied him. And people were aware that monks cannot harm the trees, So they tied his hands and his feet with the wine. They left for the city to or the village to rob. What fire they have put in there in the forest, it sprayed little bit more, and the entire forest was started to burn. What happened? This monk had a strength to just release himself and go because the death is coming. But he thought that I ordain in the Dhamma. This is not time to run from it. If I lose the chance now, I may never get this chance again. So let me try. So the confidence on Buddha, what had helped him to develop that energy, the strength that can overcome his fear of death, that can overcome his desire to live, that can overcome all the worldly things. That's why it says, Viveka Nisita, Viraga Nisita, Nirodha Nisita, Osaka Parinama. That is this. So even if we don't get the meaning of word, but we can see how much detachment this monk had to fight with this work, this present moment that he is going to get burned, he's going to die by fire, but his mind was set on, I want to finish this path. And he did. He did. And he was a monk. It can happen. Same goes for the devotees also. Devotees also, the energy what they have, effort what they have, marvelous. You may know the Samavati. She, the 500 with the 500 her friends or the servants. She got, they locked outside door, and Mahagandhi, what she did? She put the fire in the palace. All 500, including the Samavati, they died. But what the Samavati taught them in last moment, what she asked to do, she said, do not develop anger toward her. Do not develop anger toward anyone else. This is the moment, because of death is there. No one can escape. But now you can practice the Dhamma in this moment. Develop compassion. Compassion. And she did. Every one of them, whoever listened to her, they all escape from that. They may leave their body here, but the Sugati was there. How this kind of thing has come? Because of power of energy. And this power of energy was supported by power of confidence. That's why the confidence is important. That's why faith is important, because it can change anything in our life. We have to see that. Then power of sati, awareness, mindfulness. What is happening? The condition, the proper thing, energy, what do you use for? To be aware where you are, in what condition, what is happening. See, these 5 powers are also included, connected with each other. Connected. See, if you have the power of faith, that helps to generate the energy. This helps to generate the mindfulness. This mindfulness generate the samadhi. The samadhi helps to attain the realize the panya, realization. So sati is also there. Being mindful. What is happening all everywhere. So it's not just to sit down on meditation and develop that, no, but to doing all the works. Somehow they did not have the state of meditation or place, but while they were there, facing the death with the energy, what they did? They isolated their mind. Isolated from what? From all the worldly attachment. That's why they say Viveka Nisita. Initiate means depend on seclusion, depend on isolation, sprout from there with the isolation, with the escaping path, stopping it from worldly things. Those. Then happens samadhi. When you are concentrated, when you are when you have the mindfulness, you become automatically with concentration. If there is no mindfulness, then samadhi doesn't come there. When you have the mindfulness, then the concentration happens. So we have to see that. And then what happens? Truth can be revealed. That is fine. Truth can be revealed. That is fine. And they become the power. That becomes the power. The person can build this power to any moment. It's fine. In the Supreme Buddha's time of period, all the monks, they were filled with this five powers. How? You can see in all the Dhammas explained that different things has been explained. Different monks has different powers. And all of them, they represent that these are the five things that is important. So what we have to do? How we can see the progress in our life? Simple. Every day when you spend Dhamma, when you practice Dhamma, see, is my confidence on Buddha is increasing or decreasing? If it is increasing, then yes. Then the rest of the path will begin. Either it will be hard. So, one by one go, develop. So include the Buddhanusati meditation. The Buddha's life is fascinating. Amazing things. When you read the sutta, we read sutta in what manner? That Buddha has taught the beautiful Dhamma. We can realize these things, that much we understand. But we don't see the qualities of Buddha when we read the sutta. Do we? Rarely happens. Very rarely. You have to take effort to see in behind these words, there is a person who has realized these all things. With the realization, he is speaking to us. What truth he told, it's not something out of he invented there, no. He gives the base for that. So how much vast wisdom we must have. We have to see that also. So while reading the suttas, what will we develop? We develop the confidence on them. We develop confidence on Buddha. That is important. And nothing. Then once you read the suttas, it's like now we are in the worldly matter. We are not practicing the entirely enlightened path. We are there to following the sideline. Before entering to the highway, there is some what it called ramp. Okay, so ramp. So it is give that chance, to enter into. We are following that parallel line, which is going. So all these things, this all we have in a different manner, in kind of. We do have confidence, but it's not for the virag. It's not for the something to give up this world. We still have that confidence, but it's with the attachment, the bound, all these things. So even in there, if you develop Dhamma, these will become the powers which will sustain Nibbana. So when you read the suttas, have that mentality. This word is not just automatically appears there. Investigate. These words, you should investigate. Relate this one word from the Supreme Buddha's other words. And you will see, maybe the words may have changed, but the core teaching has never changed in any places. There is no, what it called, that Buddha said something here in different manner, something here, and then he changes, no, it is something like this here. It never happens in Buddha's life. Never. What he taught in early in the first sutta, the same thing he taught when he was passing away, attending the Mahaparinibbana. Nothing has changed. And what we have seen in this world, that when people gradually grow, they become mature, understanding. So what you feel before, later days, you something feel of something else. Your views changes. This all thing happen. But Buddha, it never has happened that. In the under the Bodhi tree, he attained in that state that there is no change after that. And you can find beautiful all the suttas when he's talking to the common person, he's talking to the women, he's teaching Dhamma to the Madhugam, then he's teaching Dhamma to the merchants or the kings, warriors. Way of teaching is different. Similes or examples he may give the different, but teaching was same and it never changed. That much steadiness you will never find it anywhere else. That is the one of the reasons you can develop the confidence on Buddha. So the Vichikicha can be subsided. Once the Vichikicha is not there, everything is okay. We can follow the path. Virya is also something like this. Virya, when it becomes power, we can overcome of anything. Anything. This is hardest thing to develop. Because confidence is also hard to develop. Same way, the Virya is also very hard to develop. For the time being, we are okay. We have to do that. That Virya is something like that. The Bodhisattva, when he was under the Bodhi tree, what he said, may all this flesh may dissolve, may the blood, that vaporize. I'm not gonna leave this until I realize enlightenment. That is called the energy. That is called the effort, power. So see how much. Here we take time for 10 minutes if we sit down for meditation without moving our leg. It's very hard to sit down in one place. So that is because we are still attached. Our confidence or our this one is not that with the detachment. We are this way meditation we do with the attachment thing, There is no seclusion in that. There is no isolation in that. There is not there is no effort for the enlightenment yet. But we can develop. And for that, the third part of Triple Gem, the Sangha, comes to help. The confidence on Sangha also for that. When we see them, when we listen them, when we hear about them, energy arises in us. Yes, if they can, then I can also. We need some, what it called, inspiration. We can understand, the Buddha is okay, that he's in that state, and no one is needed there. No one can touch. But the Sangha, other monks, yes, they can. So following that Sangha, it also gives chance to help. Then when you have that, you can attain the Sati, Samadhi, and Panya. Supreme Buddha is one of the suttas. Again he says, Rupa Rago, Mano, Dachan, Avijja. This is called Pancha, Uddam Bhagya Sanyojan, the upper fetters which bounds us into this world, So, for cutting them off, So, Sanyojana, Abhinyaya, to realize these fetters, Parinyaya, to know very well, Parikhaya, to investigation, Pahanaya, to get rid of them, Panchabalani Bhavendra. So these 5 powers can be used to cut the tides of this world. Whatever the bounding us, the anchors, what is holding us in this place, we can cut them by practicing these 5 powers. But always remember, these 5 powers you can begin as just a simple development of that. But this power should be included with the Viveka Nisita. with the situation. Isolation should be there. From what? From the worldly things. Means like you should not have the alternative motive to do these things in that moment. This confidence should be the pure one. Some of the confidence what we find in this world, the faith, I'm going to worship, I want this. The bargain when we do, all the faith and confidence, yes. Or these things happen, I am a Buddha's devotee, I'm doing this for a long, long time. Why I'm not getting cured? You know? Or whenever something bad happens, we go and worship, and when we say, okay, I did, now everything will be fine. Something like that. So there is, I am doing this, I want this. That one is there. Where is the Viraganisita? Nirodhanisita? It's not there. So the confidence should grow up to that point. Then there is no bargaining with this faith. It's our duty to give. It is our path to say. That's why Saddhaya Tarati Yoga. That's why Buddha used that word. Because of the faith. With the faith, help of faith, we can cross this ocean. So this 5 bala is how to practice in that way. Once someone do, then that person can overcome Sanyojan also and can realize the enlightenment also. So remember, these powers and indriyas are similar. This power we have to understand what are those. So the first is saddha, second one is virya, third is mindfulness, sati, samadhi, it means concentration, and panya, it means wisdom. These are the 5. These are bala, the power. Power, it means which can sustain, give the strength. Strength to what? Strength for our life. Our life of whole Dhamma life. What we are practicing, what we are living, why we are studying Dhamma, why we are going to the monastery, why we are practicing generosity. Everything. The power is the one who pushes us there. If someone doesn't have the power to do that, they cannot survive in Dhamma. The power are there, to just nurture it, to make it more and more stronger. So gives more strength to them. That is the power. How this power can transform into the indriyas, the natural way to live, we will learn in the next class.